Discover the chilling and intense reactions of the most violent criminals as they face the ultimate punishment, death sentences. In this gripping video, we delve into the courtroom proceedings, capturing the raw emotions, explosive outbursts, and shocking revelations that unfold when these notorious individuals receive their verdicts. Join us on this compelling journey as we analyze and discuss these high-profile cases, shedding light on the minds of the most violent criminals. With expert commentary and deep insights, we explore the impact of capital punishment and its complexities within the criminal justice system. First, subscribe to our channel for more gripping true crime content as we continue to explore the darkest corners of the criminal world. Stay tuned for future videos that delve into the minds of killers, the complexities of their trials, and the pursuit of justice. Don't miss this excruciating video examining the most violent criminals' reactions to death sentences. Hit the like button, share with fellow true crime enthusiasts, and leave your thoughts and insights in the comment section below. Number 1. Markeith Lloyd. Markeith Lloyd was sentenced to death on March 3, 2022 for the murder of Orlando Police Lieutenant Deborah Clayton in 2017. He was officially convicted on December 8, 2021 when the jury delivered their final deliberations. Markeith Lloyd, 45, was accused of fatally shooting police officer Deborah Clayton outside of a Walmart in January 2017. She was attempting to arrest him for the murder of his pregnant ex-girlfriend, Sade Dixon, which occurred a few weeks prior. A manhunt was underway for a week after Dixon was fatally shot. Then Lloyd was spotted at a Walmart when a shopper notified police Lieutenant Clayton, who was on the scene. A shootout ensued between Clayton and Lloyd in the Walmart parking lot, and in what Markeith described as a gun battle, Clayton was killed. An autopsy performed on Clayton showed that she was shot 4 times, with a fatal blow hitting her in the neck. Following the shooting of Clayton, a manhunt began to find Lloyd. After Orlando police officers located him in an abandoned house, court records show that he was beaten by police officers in the process of his arrest. Lloyd lost an eye in the alleged beating. After pleading not guilty, Lloyd claimed he shot Clayton in self-defense. Following the verdict, Lloyd said, "I waive my Spencer hearing. I want to be sentenced today. They all been doing all kinds of stuff all along." He went on to say, "These people been trying to kill me," and then told his family he loved them. Lloyd's mental health has been a point of contention during the case, but he was determined to be competent to continue with the sentencing and hearing. Clinical psychologist Xavier Amador testified that Lloyd was convinced he was a slave and the police officers and prosecutors were his slave masters and were trying to kill him. Number 2. Erica Mae Butts and Shanitel Latrice Cunningham. Shanitel Latrice Cunningham and Erica Mae Butts were sentenced to life imprisonment for the death of Serenity Richardson. When the verdict was read, unlike other murderers, Cunningham and Butts both sank to the floor in pain amid emotional outcries by family members and had to be wheeled out of the room. The 2 women were charged with homicide by child abuse after prosecutors said they whipped Richardson with a belt in November 2009 for urinating on the floor. EMTs found Richardson unresponsive at a house in the Lakes of Somerville subdivision and took her to Somerville Medical Center. She was pronounced dead. Medical staffers saw bruises and cuts all over the child's chest, stomach, lungs, arms, feet, back and head. Attorneys said Butts had been caring for Richardson for about a month and was a friend of Richardson's mother. "All I ask is that justice be served for her today," Richardson's mother told the judge on Thursday. "That she finally can seriously rest in peace, and maybe, just maybe, I can breathe a breath of fresh air." Moreover, Cunningham pleaded guilty to the charge. Butts entered an Alfred plea, which means she does not admit that she's guilty, but she acknowledges that a trial would likely end in a guilty verdict. Number 3. Michael Madison. Michael Madison was sentenced to death after a jury convicted him of murdering 3 women, 38-year-old Angela Deskins, 28-year-old Shatisha Shealy, and 18-year-old Shirelda Terry. Van Terry, the father of Madison's final victim, was asked by the court to speak about his family's loss. Addressing the judge, he said, "I guess we are supposed to find it in our hearts to forgive this clown who has taken my child." Mr. Terry then paused before leaping over the defense table to attack Madison, who appears to smirk as Mr. Terry read his statement. Madison was seen laughing as the sheriff's deputies wrestled Mr. Terry to the floor. The courtroom briefly erupted into chaos as someone sitting in the gallery shouted, "No!" and someone else called out, "Terry!" The hearing continued after a 15-minute delay once Mr. Terry was taken from the courtroom. The jury recommended the death penalty for Madison, which Judge McDonnell accepted, rather than sentencing him to life in prison without parole. Experts said the killer's execution may not take place for 10 years, as all legal appeals have to be exhausted first. Ohio has struggled to obtain the drugs used in lethal injections. Number 4. Diana Lovejoy. Diana Lovejoy came to prominence in late 2016 after she plotted to kill her then-estranged husband, Greg Mulvihill, along with a firearms instructor and a former Marine, Weldon McDavid. Lovejoy and McDavid, the ex-couple who were committing adultery, plotted to kill Mulvihill in September 2016. It all started on September 1st, 2016. Investigators said McDavid phoned Mulvihill and pretended to be a private investigator who had incriminating evidence against him. After reaching there, Mulvihill and his neighbor heard a rustle in the bushes, saw the barrel of a gun, and then the flash of gunfire. Mulvihill received a gunshot in the side but survived. Both Diana and McDavid were found to be guilty of planning on killing her husband Greg. However, Lovejoy and McDavid's lawyer argued that there was never any plan to kill Mulvihill. Testifying in his own defense, Diana's extramarital partner argued if he had intended to kill Mulvihill, he would not have missed. "I could hit that person, sent to Mars, 100 yards away without any problem," the Californian instructor testified. He likewise added, "If I intended to kill Mr. Mulvihill, he would have been dead. My only hope is that this will be rectified on appeal." McDavid added he decided to shoot Mulvihill only after Lovejoy claimed her estranged husband had been abusing their son. However, there appeared no proof of such abuse in the court. Diana, with teary eyes, told the judge she would never think of taking her son's father from him. The mother of one son said, hoping the higher reality of what we intended to do comes out, and I believe it will someday, but did not say what higher reality was. Diana was given 26 years to life in prison. Her partner in crime, McDavid, was sentenced to 50 years to life at the California Institution for Men in Chino. The court also ordered both of them to pay $500,000 to Greg in punitive damages. After hearing the verdict of her conviction, Lovejoy collapsed in a vista room. Judge Sim von Kalinowski promptly cleared the courtroom so the then newly convict could receive medical attention. Number 5. Nico Jenkins. Nico Allen Jenkins is an infamous killer who claimed that he committed crimes under the direction of Apophis, an ancient Egyptian deity who embodied chaos. Nico confessed in a handwritten letter that he would protect Apophis' kingdom with animalistic savage brutality. He was detained for taking a gun to school as early as 7 years. 9 years later, he got a 21-year sentence for carjacking. Nico assaulted a guard on duty 2 times and participated in a prison riot. Shortly after coming out of prison, he was involved in a series of spree killings within the interval of 2 weeks. He first lured 2 men, Julian Uribe Pena and Jorge C. Carriga Ruiz, on August 13, 2013, with the guise of having intimate relations with 2 women only to shoot them. And then 4 days later, on August 17th, the body of Curtis Bradford was found. The investigation led to the association with Nico because of their time together in prison. His final victim was Andrea Kruger, a victim whose body was found by the road with multiple gunshot wounds. Nico confessed to all of the murders in an 8-hour grueling interview. When Nico admitted to the killings, he also filed a federal lawsuit seeking $24.5 million from the state of Nebraska. The spree killer claimed they released him from prison prematurely. In the lawsuit, he said, "The state is wrong for releasing me from prison before I am not ready to face the world." He also noted they ignored his hearing voices from Apophis. Jenkins also claimed that his problems were caused by mental illness. He said he had schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and obsessive-compulsive disorder. Yet a medical evaluation found that he was faking psychotic symptoms to get out of prison. In May 2017, a 3-judge panel sentenced him to death. It was a landmark ruling, considering the despicable acts he had committed over the time. Yet, years down the line, there are no news about his death. He was also sentenced to 450 years in prison on weapons charges connected with the murders. His lawyers say that he was too mentally ill to be executed. In his cell, he mutilated himself in various ways, including carving the number 666 on his forehead. But the numbers came out as upside-down 9s because he was using a mirror. He made several body alterations in honor of Apophis. In 2015, he tried to mutilate his penis to look like the Egyptian god, but it went wrong. He could not get it right, but it never stopped him from altering other body parts. As we said before, he tried to carve the number 666, but came out as 999. He tried to slice his tongue to look like a serpent, but it was another futile attempt. He ended up splashing blood all over and on the walls. These are the unflinching exploration of human psyche under extreme circumstances. With that being said, we've come to the end of our video. We hope that you've had a deeper understanding of the consequences faced by those who have committed the most aberrant crimes, acts, and the effect these sentences have on the victims' families and society as a whole. Thank you for watching.